Hey guys, today we're going to have a look at how to make the te verb form. The te form is a very useful grammatical structure in Japanese because you can use it to express many different things. In some cases, the te form is the equivalent of ing in English and is used to explain an action you're presently doing. In other cases, the te form can be used to join sentences together to make one longer sentence instead of having two shorter ones. The te form is used with verbs, but firstly you need to know which group the verb belongs to. There are three groups of verbs in Japanese and each group has different rules when using the te form. The three groups are Group 1, which are u verbs, Group 2, which are ru verbs, and then we have Group 3, which are irregular verbs, and there's only two of them and they just don't fit into any set rule. So Group 1, which are u verbs, form 5 different groups and follow the following rules. So Group 1 verbs with I, chi, or ri before mas, what we do is we replace the I, chi, or ri with double te, so a te sound. So for example, kaimasu becomes katte, tachimasu becomes tatte, and norimasu becomes notte. So you can see here that directly before mas is an I, chi, or ri sound. Group 2 are verbs with ki before mas. So what we do in this case is we replace the ki with ite. So for example, kakimasu becomes kaite. The only exception here is the verb ikimasu, which is to go, and that becomes ite. In this case, the verb ikimasu behaves more like a group 1 that we've seen above here. Group 3 verbs that have gi before mas, we replace the gi with ide. So just like we did in the previous example with Group 2 verbs where we had ki and we replaced it with ite, in this case we're going to replace gi with ide. So for example, oyogimasu becomes oyoide. Group 4 verbs are verbs that have shi before mas, and what we do is we add te. So for example, hanashimasu becomes hanashite. Group 5, we have bi, ni, or mi before mas. So what we do in this case is we replace the bi, ni, or mi with nde. For example, asobimasu becomes asonde, shinimasu becomes shinde, and yomimasu becomes yonde. So again, you can see here there is a bi, ni, or mi directly before the mas. Group 2 verbs are much more straightforward. These are our ru verbs. So generally, if there is an e sound or only one character before mas, the verb is a ru verb. Then to change it to te form, cut off the mas and add te imas. So for example, to eat is tabemasu, and we can see here that this verb has an e sound directly before mas, which is be. So what we're going to do in order to change that into its te form is add te to the verb stem. So eating is tabete imasu. Again, we can see this following example, to look or to see is mimasu. And in this case, the verb has only one character before mas, and that's the character mi. So again, what we do is we chop off the mas and we attach te. So looking becomes mitteimasu. And finally, Group 3 verbs are our irregular verbs, and as I mentioned before, there's only two verbs that don't follow any of the previous rules. So you just have to remember them. There's no trick to these two. These two verbs are the verb to do, which is shimasu, and that conjugates to shite, and the verb kimasu, which is to come, and that conjugates into kite. So that's about all for this topic, but if you have any questions or comments, please let me know.